So, Chad, the people of Connecticut must be extremely happy today.
Well, you would imagine. So, big news coming out of UConn. Coming up in sports, greatness in women's basketball. UConn crowned champion again. Entering Tuesday night, the UConn women's basketball team was riding one of the most impressive streaks in the history of sports, having won 77 in a row and seeking head coach Gino Auriemma's 7th national championship. Things were sure to get interesting when they squared off against Stanford in the championship game. And it was a first half UConn wanted to forget. Coach Auriemma said it was the worst his team has ever looked. But like all great champions, they bounced back with authority in the second half. Maya Moore led the Huskies with 23 points and 11 boards. Unbelievable. 78 wins in a row. Coach, how you feeling?
It was a real testament to these kids and how strong they are and how tough they are and how resilient they are. And I'm really thrilled.
Coming off an opening day win against the Padres on Monday afternoon, the D-backs were set to continue their winning ways as they faced the Padres again in the middle game of a 3-game set yesterday. And despite battling back in the 7th inning with 3 runs, the Padres had too much pop for the D-backs to handle. Thanks in large part to the big first baseman, Adrian Gonzalez gets a hold of one, and when he does that, it's generally out of the ballpark. Diamondbacks fall by a final count of 6-3. The rubber game of the series begins tomorrow as tonight, as D-backs new pitcher and former Yankee Ian Kennedy is set to make his debut. The Phoenix Coyotes are set to face the Predators tonight in their final game of the NHL's regular season. And unlike many years in the past, the Coyotes will be around for postseason play. Currently, they hold the 4th seed in the Western Conference, and if the season were to end today, it would be a first-round date with the very team they're playing, the Nashville Predators. With only 5 games remaining on the Suns' regular season slate, counting tonight's game against the Spurs, the Suns' playoff seed remains unknown. The reason for this, the logjam atop the Western Conference. Let's take a look right now. And seemingly the Lakers seem to be in control, but Utah, Dallas, Phoenix, Denver, and yes, you could throw Oklahoma City and the Spurs in the mix too. You gotta love April basketball in the NBA. In what sport can the 7th-ranked team in the country not make the NCAA tournament? Ty Catmull discovered which ASU team might find this to be an actual reality.
The ASU women's water polo team has shot their way into being the 7th best team in the country. However, that's not as good as you might think. Head coach Todd Clapper explains how his team can be ranked in the top 10 in the country and still be at the bottom of their conference.
This year, the top 7 teams right now are top 7 teams in our conference.
The water polo team is a part of the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. It is the toughest polo conference in the country. Coach Clapper believes that the conference tournament is the toughest competition for his team.
The conference tournament is actually probably a truer competition for a national championship than the actual national championship because you have the best teams at this tournament.
To make things more difficult, the team's first 20 games were on the road. Team captain Lindley Smith is happy to finally have some home games.
It's nice towards the end of the semester that we've got all home games. I mean, hopefully we'll have a good crowd and stuff at our home games.
Coming off the ASU Invitational, the Sun Devils face another tough opponent this Saturday at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center as the 3rd-ranked Cal Golden Bears come to town.
Lindley Smith and her teammates' ultimate goal for the season is simple.
To make NCAA championships, obviously, but to also do really well at MPSF.
With 3 of the last 4 games being conference games, these players will know if they're ready to compete with the nation's best because they already have. In Tempe, I'm Ty Catmull for Cronkite Sports.
And take a look at this. Jazz Thunder last night, a throwdown for the ages. Carlos Boozer with the monster flush over 20-year-old Serge Ibaka. Oh, my goodness. Toby, Kim, Cassie, I got to ask you, you guys been working on your hops. Can you hang with Mr. Boozer?
I like to think we would do pretty well.
I don't know.
I'm kind of short, so I don't know.
On the shorter side, too. I think the 3 of us piled up wouldn't equal his height right there.
No comment.
Well, that'll do it for Cronkite NewsWatch tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.